What is pussy poppin', you guys? My name is Ariane Andrew.
I'm Matt Dillon, and welcome to another piping hot episode of Sippin' the Tea, where we are
Sip the tea, and I guess
spill that tea. Girl, we better sip it. Delicious, delicious.
we have a little glitty here.
We got Miss Mama. She's giving looks again today. Guys, I'm super pumped to introduce you to somebody that I call family. Her name is Cody. You might remember her face from The Real Housewives of New York. Boss Nails was on Oxygen. Girl, she is the Tippie Toe diva, and she is here in L.A. What's up, babe? Oh, wait. Give me them nails. Oh, girl, you're going to kill my ass.
The nails and that ring.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, George.
Thank you.
We're going to get into that
We're
later.
going to get into some things. I want to kind of fast track and take it back to the beginning. You've recently released a new book,
Yes.
and I'm going to hold it up for the peeps. And the new book kind of chronicles your life up until right this point. So I want to kind of take it back to the family days and how that and the tragedy really influenced you on a path of this entrepreneurial sense, because you are one badass boss bitch. And I say that with R-E-S-P-E-C-T. So take us back, because I know it's an emotional story to share, but I think it does show, and you guys will see, it does show how to turn tragedy into triumph. So hit it.
When I decided to actually write the book, I didn't know where I wanted to start. Many people look up to me as far as entrepreneur, but it's the things that goes on behind scenes and your story that sort of dictates your fight in business, because business is a major fight. It's hard. So I decided to start with my family, and because they laid the foundation and they taught me entrepreneurship and gave me that discipline. And I started the book off with them and their history and their past and the trials and tribulations that they went through. And then it just sort of fell on my plate and my lap. So businesses that they opened or just hardship that they went through, I inherited, and I had to take it and run with it.
And can you explain why it was passed on to you? Because they passed away.
They passed away. So my mother.
Your mother was a boss ass bitch.
Yes,
so
she was. She was.
I
She
know
was.
that
I
story.
started with my mom. She was adopted. She was molested by her adopted father. She had a really, really hard life, and I watched her, deal with that struggle, being her only daughter. So I worked really close with her. She became a nail tech, a manicurist, and that was her passion. That was her thing. And I was the little girl sitting on the floor watching my mom polish nails and do pedicures, so that's what I grew up seeing. And she was diagnosed with leukemia when I was 19. She passed away when I was 21. So it was a lot. It was a lot to just witness.
A lot at once.
Yeah, inherited a lot of that at one time. And I just decided to continue in her legacy and continue to grow. We see me doing well, but you don't know what it took for me to get to that
Not at all.
place.
Yeah.
Not at all. And I think
I started at 16.
Oh, wow.
Scrubbing feet, and it was just a major thing. And with my father, I lost him as well a year before my mom. And he was a paraplegic, but he was very business savvy, so he was in property management and things like that. So he laid that other foundation of, okay, there's cosmetology and then there's this. And I just worked really close with both of them. And from there, it's just their situation became my situation, and I had to later develop how to make it work for me.
I bet you have done that and then some.
They say turning lemons into lemonade.
Yeah.
And it's hard. And you're always still picking off the tree and, okay, what's next?
You're grinding.
Yeah.
Grinding,
The
the
grind
grind.
the grind is real. So tell us about, the salon, Tippie Toe.
Tippie Toes!
Yeah.
So 2020, we believe, will be 12 years.
Ooh.
We've been in business.
Congrats, girl.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I've been there for a lot of it, honey. It's been some ups and downs, but I'm so proud to have you here to share it.
Thank you.
So take us through that journey.
So we started actually in something called a flea market down in Miami, Florida. And it's like booths that you would just walk by, and it's an open space. So it's not
exactly what the flea
market. It's not a real salon or what have you. And that's what we started. We started with mixed matching equipment, we were really struggling, and it was just mother and daughter duo, and we just built ourselves. We built ourselves right in the community, and we had happy hour every Friday. We would do like hip hop music. We would play the music videos. We just decided we did not have proper knowledge, education per se, on marketing, but we just took what we had and say, how do we flip it from the typical, standard Asian salon? What do we want to offer that's going to be so much more different? So we would do specials. We would do like Man Cave Mondays. We would do happy hour. And we built up. We built from a little booth. We opened a second booth. And right when we did that, that's when my mother was diagnosed with leukemia. And things were just hard. I was 19 at that time. So I was juggling two, smaller locations and still finding myself.
Yeah.
And life.
Yeah.
And life. And, and I wrote about that, my partners that I were with at that time, my boyfriend, all of those different things. And when she passed away, I decided, okay, I'm going to consolidate the two salons and open one large one. And I opened that about 2012. I want to say, 2012. I had a staff of over 32 people.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
A lot. And then in 2013, I opened another location out here in LA in Woodland Hills in the Valley. And I had a staff of 15 there. So at one point I had about 45 employees.
So take us through that. Like for people who are trying to venture into being an entrepreneur, what advice would you give them?
Oof. That's a hard one. For those that just want to take that leap.
To take that leap, because yeah, exactly. If you think about, most people want to start their own business, but they don't know where to begin, and they, they're trying to search. They don't want to work for someone, and they're just like, I feel stuck, or I feel like I don't even know where to start. Like, so what advice would you give them for someone who's just trying to venture off, and especially as a woman, you know what I mean?
It is.
It's difficult.
I would say first, let's find your passion, because we can work. We can all have a 9-to-5 and make great amount.
Correct.
Yeah.
But when you're doing what you love to do, that's when you become more creative. And when you become creative, that's when products come out. That's where just different services, that's where different things come about, or people can see your talent. And you will sort of fall into entrepreneurship just off of that. If you love to cook, notwithstanding you have a 9-to-5, you'll find yourself, hey, well, now I'm making dishes. Now I am catering. Now I'm doing events. And you'll build yourself up into your own rim in your own company. And those are typically the companies that flourish.
Yeah.
I love that advice because it's true. I think if you're passionate about something, number one, it's going to come, there's going to be hard work, but it'll come much easier to you because it's something you thrive and enjoy on, even in the low times.
Yeah.
And you'll stick to it more. Because those low times will be those defining moments.
Very much so. And in that, the next thing from that would be turning that passion into profit.
So and that's hard.
And now that's hard. Very hard.
Because this is how you identified ways within what you were doing. And I want to talk about the specific products that you started to bring within, not only the way that you were able to conceptualize working with the market that you were working with, the nails started to become very different, and it was, you were offering far more than just feet and hands, baby.
Right.
So take us through that process of how you identified that.
So I actually, in Miami, I became like the celebrity nail tech. And I said, well, what?
Drop some names, girl. You became a celebrity nail tech. Who you got, girl? Trina.
Trina, of course.
Yes,
Trina is one of my main clients. I love her so much. Every new line or product that I create, she's one of my first clients, from the Imperial nails to the Treasure nails. I really started with something called Treasure nails, which we all see them now. They are not the Cardi B nails. They are the Dana Cody nails. I created that.
Okay,
I started that back in 2007 with people were just using rhinestones. I was like, no, we're going to do Swarovski crystals. Let's put that bling on it.
Found
Plus,
that niche.
I didn't want to continue making 25, 35, 45 bucks a client. I wanted to make $175, $250 a client. So I said, what's my market? Who's going to be able to do that? And I started working with Black China. At the time, she was living in Miami, and we worked very well together. She gave me a lot of different creative ideas, and she was referring me to her friends. And as she grew, I grew, and that's, that friendship and that collaboration.
Yeah.
So from there, Treasure Nails just blew up, and they became everywhere. And that sort of helped me do the migration here to LA. and then do Boss Nails and Real Housewives of New York. I'm on television doing Sonia Morgan's Treasure Nails.
That's it. She was on TV,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
where we kind of first came into the foray
yeah.
together. Just so you guys know that we've worked together, but it's been like such a family
That
because
is where I met you.
Real Housewives of New York City, baby. Because I was on it too.
Yes, that's where Matt and I met.
Which I'm gonna dig into that. But before we
Yeah, we're keeping. Whoa!
before
Let
we
me
get
sip
into
my tea.
But before we get into that, let's talk about Imperial Nails because you took it from Treasure to Imperial Nails with doing diamonds. Now you just took it to a whole nother level. So for the audience listening, can you elaborate and talk about how that transition came?
Treasure Nails, did so well. And I said, well, what would be the next? Who can get me to do Beyonce? Who can get me to do like larger names? So I said, obviously these women, they've had everything. They wear jewelry everywhere. What about jewelry on their nails? And we sometimes see like rings or whatever, but I created it so it can be to your nail bed. So it is customized just for you. And you can do precious metals, you can do diamonds, emeralds, pearls, whatever you want to do, and you can embed them in the nail. They last forever.
I'm gonna have to get some.
Yeah,
for you.
they
Because right now
customize.
mine's a little stanky.
And-
You had the nail
and that
queen
go-
coming
yeah.
in. She's like,
And that just goes back to you being in your passion. When you love what you do, you start sitting back and saying, well, what's next? So what else can I do and how else can I grow? Also, I wrote about this in the book, I did a trip to West Africa. And there we were searching for gold and diamonds.
oh, I
and
saw,
I just,
honey.
yeah, and I tied that in with Imperial Nails. I had a product. I launched another company in West Africa, Cody's Minerals. I do import, export of rough diamonds. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. After you cut the stones, you're left with a lot of leftover pieces. I'm like, let's just put them in the nails. So now, I'll get you your wedding band and your nails and your necklace.
She's like, I mean, it's a multifaceted approach. And I think the way that, number one, I think that this book is deeply emotional with the journey that you've been on. But number two, I think, and perhaps you didn't set out this, I think this is a great kind of track for people to look at somebody else that has done it, but done it and been so open in the fact that, shit, man, I messed up and I mess up and I mess up, but I get back.
Back up, right.
That I think is the biggest thing to look at in knowing you, but also seeing your journey from afar, is there's certain things that you have done that haven't panned out successfully.
Right.
And your willingness to share that. So the LA location, we can be frank, because of it closed.
Right.
Certain things don't work out in life.
No, they don't. With the LA location, that was actually start off to be a partnership.
Speak on it, child. Speak on it. Well, you can rewatch it.
That's friends in business. This book, I really laid a lot of things on the table because people contact me for mentorship and they say, hey, I'm thinking of doing a partnership with my friend or my family. And I was like, wait, I've done both. And it doesn't always work out.
Well, you then added cameras to that scenario, honey, and
I
egos
did.
tend to...
So would you say that working with family and friends is difficult? Because, I mean, you think about Boss Nails, you're working with your cousin, and then you talk about the partnership. Like, do you think it's hard working with friends and family?
It is very difficult working with friends and family. I think the dynamics and everything has changed. Before in business, you would have a family generation business, and it was just the norm to run your father's practice because your grandfather had it or something. Yeah. Now, everyone wants their own.
Correct.
And it's so easy now to be an entrepreneur, to be honest. Right now, to a certain extent.
You can whack your name on anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't make you, because it's blood,
there's levels
sweat,
to this.
and tears.
Yeah, there's levels to this. Okay?
Girl, you can say this shit.
If you've read the book, you know that certain things don't work out because people think they can fast forward to the end. And I was like, you can't fast forward through the hard work.
You can't cheat. You can't cheat.
No, because that skips over everything. And I think watching from afar after working with you and still remaining that tight bond and having respect for you and each other, it's amazing that you went through some heavy times with friends and family. And it's all detailed in here, but it's like working with friends and family. When you said that, I was like, egos, girl, we fight like cats and dogs, but we always pick a.
Okay, so getting back.
We're gonna get married one day. Into the church, girl. We'll be right back with you. Okay?
That's fine. I'll sit here and sip.
Let's
we
go.
gonna have a little
We're gonna have a little. It's popping. But I want to, mostly this is because of the way that this has gone through. Oh, hi,
Oh,
girl.
good morning.
Mama.
There's your auntie. Good
Mama.
morning. I want to kind of, now focus on the fact that there are people that reach out to you on the daily because they have seen you, whether it's housewives, whether it's boss nails, whether it's from your salon by the way that you've, with all the genius little concepts that you were able to infiltrate in there. I mean, you had nights on these nights and this and the happy hours and then this. You were always constantly and are constantly rethinking, reshaping, remolding things so it extends your life. It's like Madonna, 50 freaking lives. So it's like, how does one keep reinvention?
Well, that's my concept. This is a marathon. It's not a, it's not a
Oh,
sprint.
girl, you better get that in that camera shot. You better look directly down that lens. My name is Dana Cody, and I got some words for you.
Seriously, but this is a marathon. You have to pace yourself. Oh,
Go
right.
ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, because we want
So
you to,
the
we want
audience,
you to
girl,
the audience,
inspire.
girl.
My name is Dana Cody, and here are a few words of advice in business.
Go Sippin.
Do not rush. It's a marathon. Pace yourself. Don't sprint. Take your time. All concepts and ideas don't have to come out right now. Okay? Time it. Do something this year, then do another project next year. You're 30, 50 years into it. So many people do so much too soon. And they run out of gas.
Listen. I want to talk about the book, The Crab That Made It Out of the Bucket. Where'd that come from? I have an idea of what it means, but I want you to share the concept.
So that
Because
is
it's genius. I think it's really.
So that is actually a mentality.
Yeah.
It's the crab that made it out of the bucket mentality. If you take a bucket of crabs, and they do it innately, they don't know, it's instinctively. They just grab each other down. So you find yourself, you're working hard, you're building, you're giving opportunities, you're doing the best that you could do, and you're trying to get to that place of happiness on different levels. It could be financially, spiritually, in a relationship. And there's always sometimes the people that are closest to you, sometimes just the situations, your jobs, pulling you down,
Life.
pulling you back.
Yep.
Life, just simple life.
Sometimes.
And I just sat back and said to myself, wow, I am not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be on this couch right now with you guys. I'm not supposed to have that story or the platform to be able to share my story. And I do. And I consider myself the crab that have made it out of the bucket. I've considered myself that person that have been hit with death and, trials and tribulations, financial, reality TV, drug addiction. I've been hit so many times with so many different things, and our relationship problems, marriage issues, divorce. And
we're gonna get to that,
I just
child.
keep
We
getting
just keep
on
going.
up from that, you know?
Have to. And that's something I admire about you, because just so people know, every opportunity that you had from the Passover of your mother's business, I don't even know whether people know that Bust Nails was created because of you. Because you did the treatment, you did everything for yourself to put yourself
I invested.
with 3-4 episodes on Real Housewives.
Yeah.
But in 3 or 4 episodes, she was like, bitch, I'm going to turn that into something. And you did. And it could have
Yes,
gone on,
girl.
but you made a decision because of inner workings of production. And that's how life goes. And you can read about it in the book.
In the book, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The real reality behind the reality. And you can also, I mean,
Well, you
she
were there
was
too
on
on
sort of-
the aftermath. You saw how,
I got aftermath myself.
I can say that Matt
I got attacked left, right, and center.
helped me, and exactly. This was a person, and I use crab because I just say we're all in the boat.
Yeah.
But Matt was the opposite. Matt was actually that crab that was pushing me up, helping me get.
And that's hard to find because most people don't, there's so much room for everybody to eat.
Yes.
But everyone is always pulling each other down,
Yes.
especially as women. That's why there needs to be a lot more woman empowerment. No,
I think
but
I would
but
say
it's
even
just-
black women, honestly, because
Yes.
the friends I've seen you come and go with,
It's insane, and it's been
dirty
Matt the
games.
one who have seen what I've done for them or with them, and he just
even
said
when we're
that-
not working together.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like and I will say to you, I mean, this has now turned into a love fest, but it's reality.
Yeah.
I've never met 3 more like-minded people here that life ain't Life is tough even to this day.
Okay. Yeah.
For us to have this platform is a huge blessing. We're grateful to everybody that watches this, and I'm grateful for you for coming, because it's like we have our history, and I was like, damn, she need to be on this couch, because what you have done and what you continue to do, because you're not even at 50 yet.
No.
You're not even at that level yet. So I think there's so much more that you can do. The book's a perfect platform for it to encompass everything. And I think you two as women have a lot of similarities in terms of what you've been through with production, TV, the whole, it's a messy, murky water out there. And I think you made it, I think ultimately, not doing a season 2 was your saving grace.
It really was.
I think you would have been 6 feet under.
For sure.
You're frank about it in the book.
I spoke about it.
You're talking drugs. It
was a lot, doing those 16-hour shifts. Like, no one really knows what goes on behind the scenes.
People only see the surface. You know what I mean? They only see, like, just like little specks.
40-minute edit.
Yes, an edit.
40 hours of filming.
Like the amazing highlight reel, not what goes on.
What goes on. Yeah. And then, like you said, too, as a Black woman, you have to also make sure that you're putting out in the best light.
Yes.
And that's hard, because you look at, okay, I have to feed my family, and I want this, I deserve this, I worked hard for this, but wait a minute, if I get it, I have to do this?
Yes.
I have to be this way?
I have to be, or I have to be your stereotypical Black
Seriously?
girl.
And it's a battle. And there's, you have Black actresses that are right now winning, but they fought so hard for it. But then reality TV is a major part of entertainment.
I would say it is the biggest part, because
and I feel like we deserve more respect, opportunities, chances.
Listen, you can't win when you play dirty, and that was proven. Black China, she dead, honey. Bye, bitch.
Lord Jesus,
Bye, bitch.
Eddie Murphy. Damn, okay, let me take a little
Sure. How's your eyelash business going, darling?
It's funny because
I said it, not you, so there's no backlash.
No, but I wrote of that too. I went out, I pitched something to work with her initially, and she was like, no. At that time, she was riding the Kardashian wave.
Riding, literally.
So I was
riding into a pregnancy.
I don't even know.
You was out of control for the whole entire century.
No, but to be honest, when you don't play fair, or you're just not righteous, sometimes for the moment you gain, but again, this is a marathon.
Longevity. People think short term. People don't think long term.
I'm in this
Say it's that camera, child.
No, because it's not. It's not about us. It's about you. So I mean, but just talking to you and hearing your story, I can already tell what type of person you are. You're like a very humble, very good person. When you're a good person, good things come to you. It may not come initially, but in the future, it does come. It comes.
It does. The cream rises to the top.
It does.
That's it.
I'm sorry, but I have to switch the subject because I keep staring at this.
All right, we got.
I gotta talk about baby daddy.
How's my daddy George? Because
How did you guys meet? Is the real story? Because on Real Housewives, the story was the waxing.
That's some bullshit.
That was definitely bullshit.
Okay, so then how did you guys really meet?
I can't lie. You know what? This is a setup because I can't lie to Matt. Matt knows everything.
So how did you meet?
We actually met online.
Oh, okay, so that's the real tea.
Real tea. We met online. BlackPeopleMeet.com.
Wait, he was on BlackPeopleMeet.com?
He liked that chocolate.
And I asked him, I said, well, why were you on Black People Meet? He said, because his ex gave him a subscription, basically being funny, like, bye, good luck.
He got a subscription box.
And then he ended up with a wife. From that. Yeah, that's actually how we met.
Wow. So tell me about that dynamic, because you guys are 54 years apart.
It's 54.
54.
So tell me about that dynamic. I mean, I've always been interested in older guys, but that is a big
Let's talk about when Aviva and I found out.
Yes, Aviva's stepmama.
Yeah. I think, but Aviva at the beginning was probably concerned. Now,
chill.
We are like, I love
Aviva.
Even when George and we're not on good terms, Aviva and I are.
Yeah.
Like they have genuinely accepted me in the family. We are family, and I respect everyone so much. Marriage is difficult alone, and then to be married to someone with that major age difference.
Because he ain't changing his ways.
No, he's not
Yeah.
changing his ways. We met when I was about 22. We met online because at that time I did just lose both parents, so I was very, very in a bad place, and I wasn't going out. So I was just like, well, let me just free my mind a little bit, and we would email and message each other, and then finally we met up and we clicked. We have been married. This August will make it 5 years.
Oh wow.
And she had her own money too, just FYI.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So that was nice storyline, but
that
she
was
had
a
her
good
own money.
storyline. That was a gold digger. Again, being a Black woman, how is it that she has this salon? How is it that she can get on this television show? But whatever. And I was really discredited by a lot of people, and I still am. I just launched a trucking company. I have a transportation company.
She's got trucks now.
And-
And she can't stop.
Right.
That's nice.
And I'm pretty sure half of the people are thinking,
Assuming, it's because of her marriage.
George.
Yeah.
And it's not that at all. The age difference worked because he was always teaching me. And, I'm giving him youth and fun and happiness.
And he thrives on that.
He thrives
He's a
on
tough
that.
cookie.
He is
We've had
oh my
I've had my
gosh.
moments with him.
Like
I
he's,
do, but
it's hard to tolerate. He's very firm.
But he is
who he is. He is who he is. Now, Matt, I am comfortable sharing this with you. We're actually separated right now.
Okay.
Oh.
Are you still living under the same roof?
No.
Oh, girl, you are spilling some shit today.
Yeah.
I better call that radar online
Yeah.
and pop that shit. Ooh.
We found out that there are difficulties with having children. I just turned 30, and that was a discussion. So right now we're just at what's best for. I have to be at what's best for me.
Correct.
What's best for my
Because
future.
he's at a certain age where it's like he's not changing that.
But overall, again, we're still, it's
It's a
just,
little glistening eye.
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's okay. It's okay. It's all good. You guys will be
And
friends forever, and you probably end up
Yeah.
getting back together, bitch.
Yeah.
Listen. Life is a roller coaster of
is.
things. He's always gonna have your back.
Am I supposed to be crying on the couch?
You can
What's
now.
in this tea?
Bitch, you drinking wine. Why are you lying?
No, but
Why
it
you
shows
lying?
that you're authentic and that you're
Yeah.
a human being. People
I gotta
go
just
through
take a
stuff,
minute.
I need that.
Take a minute.
Don't put my wig off.
Good girl. Oh my God, that's
Don't put the wig up.
exclusive. Exclusive reveal. Well, I think on that note,
Yeah.
we got a good story here, and I think our viewers can really learn
Relate to
a thing
you.
or two
Yeah.
off you.
Thank you. Thank you
And
for
we
the
wish you
opportunity.
nothing but blessings in the future, both in your personal and business life.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I think only good things ahead for you.
Of course.
Yes.
I'm here.
You're a good person. Only the best for you, girl.
I'm so happy to have came. Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
Oh my God, thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Well, let's do a little
We'll
cheers.
do a little cheers.
Cheersies.
Yes.
And then also, I want you to look here and tell everybody where they can watch
Your
page.
social.
I can't do it with
Girl, you just
yeah.
keeping it 100.
Yes, you just keeping it real.
Where can people find you?
Just wipe her right here.
right here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm back.
Girl.
Okay. And then right here.
That gave me vibes of
This has
something else.
been a very fun time.
You know what I
What
love?
am I-
That we skipped past my bullshit with her. So
Oh my
bye.
God. Oh,
Where we find you, girl?
You can find me on Instagram at Tippie Toe Diva, www.tippietoesinc.com, Facebook, Dana Cody. That's where I'm
Are
at.
you still locked out of your Twitter?
I am still locked
If
out of my
anyone's
Twitter.
watching on Twitter, help her. This has been freaking
Yes.
5 years in the making.
Yeah.
Wait, and your book. Where can people get your book at?
Amazon. I partner with Amazon, so you can order it online with Amazon. It's on Kindle.
I read it
Yeah.
on Kindle, so I was like, it's a great read. And I
Thank
say
you.
this with love, it's an easy read. Like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Got to the point.
gets to the point, and it goes
Goes
there.
To the point.
You know, we got some references of some names that you would know.
So you better go get that book on Amazon.com. And
Better-
then you can also follow me at Ariane Andrew. And
Really?
this little nugget at Glitty Glit.
You can follow me at Matt Dillon 1983. Oh, girl.
Mama.
It's Mama 2011. you know, until next time, girl.
On Sippin' the Tea, we'll catch you guys next
Keep it piping hot.
Yes,
Bam.
honey.
Thank you, girl.
Cheersy.
Woo.
Yeah, you got the wrong number. Click.